I am a little bit terrified about the project that I'm taking on today. Welcome to my living room. We just moved into this house 3 weeks ago, and we're slowly getting settled in, but the living room just doesn't feel homey and cozy yet. And I think we've all sort of concluded that that's because we don't have any books in the living room anymore. Our old house had a lot of bookshelves, and we've just got the books packed away in the basement until we get shelves on the walls. But today I want to get the walls covered in shelves so that we can get those books unpacked and make this place feel a little more homey. We picked up a bunch of lack shelves from IKEA. So these are floating shelves that I think they'll look good. I'm a little worried that they're not going to be level and that they're not going to be strong enough to hold our books up, but we're gonna go ahead with it anyway. So that means I'm putting a lot of holes in the walls to get these things mounted. If it all turns out well, it's gonna look great. And if it doesn't turn out well, I might be crying by the end of this video. So stick around to see how it turns out. So these are the shelves that we picked up. We've got 12 of the 43-inch long lack shelves. That's the bracket that it mounts onto, and then it just slides onto the mounting bracket and looks like it's floating off of the wall. So this is the big idea. We're gonna have these shelves just like this, and there's gonna be 4 going up on either side of the couch here. And then on this side as well, they're gonna extend out this way. So it'll be an L shape in the corner, and then just the ones on the other end of the wall on that side. A tool that we picked up off of Amazon to get this job done is this Cinus Linus laser level. And it was way cheaper than any other laser level that we could find, but I think it's gonna get the job done just as well as anything else. You can see the laser line there on the wall. So I'm thinking that's gonna be hugely helpful in getting these all to line up properly. I've had this painter's tape up on the wall for probably at least a week. I just wanted to get a visual on how high the shelves were, how far apart they were spaced, just so that I was comfortable with what we were gonna be putting up before I started putting all these holes in the walls. But I think we've figured out our spacing and our height, and so today's the day to get it done. My first step in figuring out where I need to be drilling into the walls was to figure out how far away from the corner my mounting bracket was going to be. So it's 9.5 inches from the end of the shelf to where the bracket starts. So that way I could measure 9.5 inches from the corner. This is where my bracket's gonna start. So that way I can hold my bracket onto the wall and figure out where I can get into some studs, hopefully. So I used a stud finder to find where there are studs in this wall. The bracket has a bunch of holes for mounting, and I need to use at least 5 across the length of the bracket in order to get a good, strong mounting to the wall. So there are a lot of holes, but the spacing didn't allow me to hit the stud more than once, but I think that's gonna be okay with 1 stud and then 4 drywall anchors for 5 screws total. I think I'm gonna come out okay. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that these, in the past, we've had a shelf like this and it started to like sag downward over time. So that's really my only concern with using these shelves in the living room. But I think it's gonna look really good. So we're just gonna go with it. I have a stud here, so I'm going to be drilling directly into that, and then I'm going to be drilling holes for drywall anchors here, 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 and here. I'm not impressed. this. I am not off to a great start here. I screwed up this drywall plug and now I have a big hole in the wall. The plug is just spinning. So I'm going to mark another spot for that screw. I'm gonna change the location to down here and hopefully I don't screw this one up. Okay. One down, 11 to go. Okay, so I have reached the second level here, finally putting my fourth shelf up. I had a little bit of issues with getting the shelves not only level lengthwise, but more so level here. They wobble a little bit even when the screws are tightened up in the bottom. And so what I've done is I've taken a cereal box and I've been cutting little strips and using these as shims underneath the bottom edge of my bracket. So I fold this up and I have 4 shims supporting the bracket from the bottom. What that's doing is it's just tilting the shelf ever so slightly upward so that when I put anything on here, like books, it's going to put pressure on there and then the shelf actually sits level when there's a little bit of weight pulling down on it. So that's my super high-tech tip. Cut down a cereal box. I figured it's already very compressed paper, so it's not going to have a lot of compression happening over time. And yeah, it's been working so far so good. So I'm gonna keep going. Okay. You can see that my level is showing that the shelf is a little bit high here. So like I said, once I get some weight on here, that bubble is just gonna pop right down to the middle. It took some time to figure out how to get these working properly, but I'm really happy now with how it's going. So I don't know what they did behind the drywall on this wall, but there's a big chunk of wood here. And then I have 2 other spots where I hit wood as well on this first shelf. So that's really helpful because then I'm getting really a secure mounting on this thing. So now I just need to figure out how high I'm putting it. My drill bit is all full of sap from the piece of wood that I was just drilling into. That's crazy. It smells nice though. I forgot to pump my wall plugs in, so that's a problem. The powder coating just kind of cracked off of this piece of metal here where I screwed in here, but it shouldn't affect anything. It's fine. Now we're moving. The first few took a long time, and now that I have a system going, this is going so much quicker. I'm moving this strip of tape up here just because I already marked where the wood is behind the wall here, and I don't want to have to keep figuring that out every time. So I got smarter this time, and I'm just moving it up with me. So I have done 6 of my 12 shelves. I've been going for hours here, and I would like to go have a coffee, and then I have to think about making supper. So I think I will come back and finish this after we've eaten supper and cleaned up. I'm gonna say this is done. I know that I said at the beginning that I was doing 4 shelves high, but by the time I got the 3rd one up and I brought in my globe and a few things that I plan on putting on the top shelf, this seemed like a good height to stop. If I went any higher, it just wouldn't feel like there's enough breathing room between the top shelf and what I'm putting on top of it. So 3 shelves it is. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Come back next week and I'll show you what this looks like with all of our books finally unpacked. And I will see you next time. Bye.